गुड इवनिंग एवरीवन। आज का जो ब्लॉग है वो बेसिकली एक ऑनलाइन क्लास है जो कि वीक में 1 डे ही होता है। एक्चुअली मैं अभी पीजी कर रहा हूँ इंग्लिश डिपार्टमेंट सीएम कॉलेज से, और वहाँ पे रिसेंटली हमारे जो एचओडी थे इंदिरा मैम, डॉक्टर इंदिरा झा, वो रिटायर किए हुए हैं 31 अगस्त को। और वो क्योंकि उनको पढ़ाने में काफ़ी इंटरेस्ट है और वो बच्चे से कनेक्ट रहना चाहते हैं, तो उन्होंने एक ग्रुप बना के और वीकली एक क्लास अरेंज करवाने का प्रॉमिस किया हमें स्टूडेंट से, और वो करते हैं। तो आज वो 3rd क्लास होने वाला है। इसमें जो टॉपिक है वो है यूजेस ऑफ इंग्लिश। तो आज मैं आप लोगों को उस क्लास के बारे में दिखाऊंगा और आज क्या क्या चीज़ें पढ़ाई होती है वो मैं बताऊंगा। इट्स गोइंग टू बी वेरी फन, क्योंकि द वे सी टीच एंड द काइंड ऑफ थिंग्स सी टीच, क्योंकि अभी कोई सिलेबस का कोई प्रेशर नहीं है कि ये सिलेबस पढ़ाना है। सो सी गिव्स अस सो मैनी इनसाइट्स कि ऐसे लैंग्वेज होता है, एंड लर्निंग लैंग्वेज इज़ अ वेरी फन थिंग। डीपली जाके कि लैंग्वेज के ये छोटे छोटे बेसिक चीज़ें हैं, ऐसे ग्रामर काम करते हैं, यहाँ ये चीज़ यूज़ होता है, कैसे इसको थोड़ा सा ट्विक करके हम लोग कैसे नए सेंटेंस को फॉर्मेशन कर सकते हैं। तो दीज आर द थिंग्स दैट इज़ बीइंग टॉट बाय डॉक्टर इंदिरा झा। तो लेट्स सी आज के क्लास में क्या होता है। थैंक यू। और एक्चुअली अभी जो टाइम है वो है 7:16 और क्लास की जो टाइमिंग है वो है 8 PM। तो क्योंकि मैं आज का क्लास लैपटॉप में अटेंड करूँगा, तो आई हैव टू सेट अप द थिंग्स इन माई लैपटॉप। आई हैव दैट लैपटॉप एज यू कैन सी नाउ। तो इसमें मुझे व्हाट्सएप पे जाने हैं, क्योंकि वहीं पे लिंक आएगा ग्रुप का, और फिर वहाँ से मुझे गूगल मीट पे ओपन करके फिर लाइव क्लासेस अटेंड करना है। सो लेट्स सी। तो फाइनली लिंक आ चुका है, क्योंकि 7:30 में मैम लिंक शेयर करती है। तो अभी 7:30 एग्जैक्टली 7:30 हो रहा है, तो लिंक आ चुका है और क्लासेस विल स्टार्ट एट 7:55। तो पहले इसको ओपन करते हैं। अभी 7:32 ही हुआ है, तो इट मीन्स आई हैव टू वेट अप्रॉक्सीमेट 20 मिनट्स। तो चलिए वेट करते हैं फिर। तो फाइनली लिंक आ चुका है, क्योंकि 7:30 में मैम लिंक शेयर करती है। तो अभी 7:30 एग्जैक्टली 7:30 हो रहा है, तो लिंक आ चुका है और क्लासेस विल स्टार्ट एट 7:55। तो पहले इसको ओपन करते हैं। जस्ट गो देयर। अभी 7:32 ही हुआ है, तो इट मीन्स आई हैव टू वेट अप्रॉक्सीमेट 20 मिनट्स। तो चलिए वेट करते हैं फिर। Finally the notebook is ready, the pen is ready, just waiting for the time. Okay, it's only 7:45 right now and the class is going to start at 7:55 PM. So it is about 10 minutes from now, so I have to wait for that. So let's just wait, and till then just revise, because in the previous class ma'am taught about the grammars. Okay, so what was that? Let me tell you something. There were some, no, the last class was not on grammar. The last class was on spellings. There was something like a ma'am also said that कि जो spellings होते हैं ना, वो ऐसे होते हैं कि जैसे कि जब आप कोई चावल चबा रहे हैं और उसके बीच में कोई कंकर आ जाता है तो कैसा लगता है। तो ऐसे ही ऐसा लगता है कि यदि आप एक अच्छा लिखा हुआ एक सीट देखते हैं, आंसर सीट देखते हैं, और उसमें बहुत ज़्यादा या कहीं की आपको स्पेलिंग एरर मिलते हैं, तो सेम फीलिंग आता है जैसे चावल चबाते टाइम में कंकर दांत में फंस जाते हैं। तो स्पेलिंग in literature in a language is a really very important things. So last class she taught some of the things about how to take care of the spelling while writing a language. So you have to take care of when you change the plural of something, like a chair, it becomes chairs. So you have to take care of es, sometimes you add s, sometimes you add es, sometimes the consonant is also repeated. Okay, when there is a y at the end of the any word, like for example cherry, so you have to remove that I R Y and then you have to add es. So when you change into the plurals, so these are the things that needs to be taken care. For example, when there is a ch, s, sh, x or z, so at the end of the word we have to add es. So spelling, for example, buzz, b-u-z-z, buzz will become buzzes, bush will become bushes. And there is also a very interesting thing, like when there is a f or fe, so you might be already knowing, then we add ves. For example, if there is a half, so when we make the plural we write it halves, ves, wife, wives, not wives, knife, knives, not knives. So these are the things that was taught in the previous class. And there were so many things, like the sometime the vowel is doubled and the last word is doubled when there is a vowel, and some more things I haven't revised well, but these things were taught. For example, if there is a only one syllable plus ending with the vowel plus consonant, then the last word will be doubled and add ed. For example, stop, so when you make the it's a third form of the stop, so it becomes stopped, and that spelling is STOPPED. So stop becomes stopped, and the spelling also changed. The spelling of the stop is STOP, but when it changes to the third form, it becomes STOPPED. So these kind of things also happens, and so many other stuff. I really don't know everything because I haven't revised well, but today is the class of the uses of the English. Let's see what happens. Like I'm guessing that ma'am will be teaching about how the language is important and how English are useful to our daily life. No one can deny the fact, no matter how we feel, no matter how we react to it, but English has really become important aspects of our life. Without it, nowadays getting a good job is really difficult. I can't say impossible, there are the people who is doing the job, but it's really difficult because very go, no matter what you have studied, no matter how well you have studied, but if you don't know how to communicate in especially the global language like English, that becomes difficult. That becomes difficult to represent yourself. And even after having so many technical degree, even having so much knowledge of a particular field, we may suffer from the situation that we are unable to find a job for us, and that usually happens. So it's not the 100% true, but it is fact, and we can't deny it. So in order to improve our life, what I feel is we need to focus on English. It is a part of being a well-being right now. It is a part of being educated person. If you're educated without knowing English, people may doubt on you. Fact, if you're a professor of Mathly and you know Mathly well, that's okay. If you're a professor of Hindi, they can be okay with the Hindi only. But if you are a student of something else like maths, physics, then if you don't know how to communicate in English, it really becomes difficult. And you all must be agree with this point. So these things happens. 7:51 right now. It's only 4 minutes left. Let's see what's going to happen in this class now. I have to just do the things. The date is. There's one thing that ma'am had said today, that there are many reasons to learn English idioms because often we use them in English speaking and writing. So it's about the idioms. An idiom is a group of, now the question is what is idioms? An idiom is a group of words, often a phrase or an expression that have a particular meaning, and this meaning can be difficult to work out simply from the individual words. In other words, an idiom is a single unit of language. It is a language in a unit, a single unit of language. It is possible to work out or guess the meaning of the some idioms, but translating word to word, you can guess the meaning, but you cannot translate into word to word. Word to word for the other idioms is even more confusing. Of course, it is confusing. For example, tit for tat, the meaning is jaisa ka taisa, but if you look at the word tit for tat, you don't get the meaning. So should students learn English idioms? So now there is a question that should the student learn it? While these idioms are challenging for the English learners, learning chunks of language improve vocabulary and helps to develop English language skill from a basic level to the intermediate and advanced. They might be difficult to remember and produce, but they can nevertheless greatly improve understanding, reading, and listening. Furthermore, idioms can generate interest in English language. Of course, sometimes when you learn idioms, it makes you feel better. Like a jaisa ka taisa, tit for tat. There are so many idioms also. So you start enjoying those, playing with those words. It can be interesting. Furthermore, idioms can interest generally because some expression may be the same in an English student's native language, while others may be similar with the subtle difference. Sometimes stuff they are just really strange to non-native speakers. Really, sometimes it is just very strange thing to understand. When you suddenly come to see kind of idioms, you feel strange. It is very strange things. You don't get the meaning directly. What is the best way to learn English idioms? Not what is the best way. Idioms have particular meaning, and we recommend learning them in a context and with an example. They have the particular meaning. So what we should do whenever we learn an idioms, we should be learning to the context. So that's what we recommend learning them in a context with an example. We should try to accumulate some example. Take for that. So we should have a 4 and 5 example on that. Here is another idiom sentence. She brings a great deal. There's an example also. She brings a great deal of expression to the table. Perhaps you can guess that bring something to the table. The idioms here is bring something to the table means to contribute something of value to a company. For example, if I have to make an example, I'm bringing something to the table. So for example, I'm bring a great deal of experience. I'm bringing great content to the table. So I'm providing value for this content. And this has been used to describe a person in a business context, and it could be used in speaking, writing, or whatever. However, there are other idioms that are only used in speaking or in magazines that are more informal. There are also idioms that are basically used in speaking only, and there are some idioms that are basically used in writing only. So these are also there. Now it's a 7:55, so I have to join the class also. Let's join that. There is a link. Where is the link? There is the link. You can see. Let's see. Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening. As your honor subject, as your PG subject, so you have to pay some attention to the uses of English. And when I say uses, what actually today in this class I'm going to talk about. We have already spoken on the spelling. We have seen one class on grammar and punctuation. Also, we have been in a general kind of class where we have seen or we had discussed how the simple words can take us to the world of literature. With all that in mind, but then how do we do it? Unless we know the correct uses of English, unless we pay attention to the right way of speaking or writing. This is challenging, no doubt. We're going to talk about the grammar. Are we going to talk about the spelling? Or are we going to talk about the parts of speech in the sense that how the words agree with each other, how the subject and verb concord, or how they are used in agreement? Is this the topic today? What is actually English uses? Where do we focus today? So before we start properly to understand what is uses, let me take you to a very funny kind of example where I want you to ponder, where I want you to think and see what basically I am trying to focus in this class. You all made a group in the sense because I took your help. In fact, I was the one who made the group. Now, when I made the group, I expected that students will be interested in this class, but then what I could gather was some of them thought that no syllabus is being discussed here, the textbooks are not being taught, so these classes are not useful for us. Without realizing that how will you handle your textbook, how will you learn new things unless you have the tools in your hand? And language, the uses of language will be basically yours. Unless you know the English uses, you cannot understand and handle. Now I leave you with two words just now in the beginning, and I will stop for a few seconds, and I want you to think that what basically English uses mean. Say, some of you, if decide to say just now, I'm not interested in ma'am's class. This is one way of saying, I'm uninterested in this class. I'm disinterested in this class.
So finally the class is over, and I'm going to share the most important things that I have learned today. You will find it interesting. There are basically 3 words that I have learned I find the most interesting in this class. The first one is about interest. Okay, so the word is like uninterested, and there is a word like disinterested. So what is the difference between uninterested and then disinterested? When we say uninterested, it means we find something not enjoyable, we find something boring, means the problem is on the other side. But when we say disinterested, means we are not interested, there is a problem in us, the problem is in there, not on that side. Maybe that teacher is very good in teaching, that teacher is like for example, someone finds history is very difficult for them, someone find mathematics is very difficult for them. So there can be 2 situations. When the person say uninterested, it means they want to learn it, but the kind of teacher from whom he is learning, or he or she is learning, is not making the history interested. So that is called uninterested, they find it boring. But when we say disinterested, it means that particular person is not interested in history. For example, I am not interested in that social studies, I find it boring. So this is disinterested, because the other person who is teaching may be teaching very well, but because I am not interested, so this is disinterested. The problem is in me, not in that teacher. But when I say uninterested, that the problem is not in me, that problem is on other side. This is the first one. The second was about the social, that is antisocial and the unsocial. Antisocial means you are not a social person, but you are creating problem for the person in a society, so you are being antisocial. Unsocial means you are just not interested in social things, so like an introvert type. You are not creating problem, the society is there, you just let them live however they want to live, and you are just living your own life, so you are not being problem for them. But antisocial means you are creating the problems for them. So that is the second thing. And the third and the last one is judgment. The spelling of judgment is Judgement, Judgement, but there is one more spelling, that is Judg without e, not e, ment. And that judgment word, that spelling of this judgment word is used in a more like official way, in a court, in a most official way. But we generally use Judg with e, Judgement. Both are correct, the meaning is same, but judgment without e official places, but the judgment with e is generally used. So this is what the outcome of this today, and thank you for watching. Let's tune. Thank you.